Well, good morning everybody and welcome back to another episode of Lock Valley Farms. Okay guys, so it is Tuesday the 3rd of October today and we're coming off of a long weekend here in South Australia. We had the Jamestown show, so kind of just like a local fair, I guess you would say. And I just wanted to give a quick shout out to anyone who came up to me, any of the fellas, any of you young fellas that came up and said hello and said that you enjoy watching the channel. Thank you, I really do appreciate it. It is truly humbling to be able to have people come up and say that to you. I really do appreciate it, so thank you, and thank you to everyone else. Thank you to all of you for watching the channel. But anyway, all that aside, yes, long weekend. We've just come off another week of very hot weather. It was 34 degrees yesterday and it was blowing its absolute guts out yesterday. We had some destructive winds last night, basically. As some big storm fronts rolled through. They looked very impressive on the radar. They didn't deliver a lot of rain. As you can see, there was only about 2.5 millimeters in the gauge, but I was very concerned about my hay windrows because it was blowing so hard. I thought, geez, I hope that hay is going to stay where it is. So I've just come up here to have a quick look at that this morning, and well, I think it's all intact. Yeah, it's definitely blown around a little bit. Let's go have a quick look. So as you might be able to see, you can see that windrow there. She's spread out a fair bit, and when I say it was blowing it, man, it was blowing hard yesterday. So unfortunately you can see some of these windrows have blown around a little bit if you look straight up and down there. What's the drama with it really? Well, I guess you can end up with a little bit of bleaching on the hay. I don't know necessarily that it affects the quality of the hay all that much, but it affects the way that it looks, and then, you know, especially if I want to try and sell any of this, which I may be trying to do. So yeah, I said last night, the icing on the cake after that wind will be that it blows all my windrows of barley hay around, and then we don't end up getting any rain at all out of what they've sort of forecast. I've been talking the rain back anyway, every single run of the weather. We're sort of only giving us maybe up to 10 millimeters at the very best. So, but I tell you, 2.5 millimeters, and man, things look a lot fresher today after getting absolutely beaten up by the wind and the heat yesterday. But you know, I'm no hay guru, so I think a lot of that hay is going to be used for personal use anyway. So whatever, it is what it is. You can't change it. It's blowing around a bit now, and it might be a bit ugly. But actually, you know what? While we're next to a paddock of wheat that's directly across from that hay, let's jump out and have a look and see how the wheat's filling out. I have not looked at all at how it's filling out because honestly I have been scared to look because we haven't had any rain for like a month basically, and it's been hot and dry. So let's have a look and see how we're going. Just randomly grab a head, this one. Let's have a bit of a look. So there you go, that grain's about half full. Let's see how we're filling out, how wide we're going. That grain's about half full. There's our third grain in there, and look, it's even trying to fill out 4 wide. That is unbelievable. Any amount of rain on this wheat right now, 5 millimeters, 10 millimeters, that is just going to be an absolute godsend. We're just praying hard that we can get something tomorrow. That's our best chance, and it's going to make a world of difference to this stuff. I'm just absolutely shocked and blown away at how well and how good this crop looks, because we have not even had 10 inches of rain for the entire year. That is an incredibly poor amount of rainfall. I mean, I was thinking it might only fill out 2, maybe 3 wide, but to see it trying to fill 4 grains wide, that just blows me away. Like I said, I'm genuinely shocked. How you going?
Right.
You didn't go up the back road and look at the hay this morning?
Yeah, blow around in it.
It's definitely blown it around a little bit, yeah. It's not bad. Wheat is one tough plant. It is the one thing we grow that really hangs on when the going gets tough. whole 1 millimeter out here. So I know a few people have said they would like a bit of a tour of all these old buildings. I think it's the old buildings anyway, but this here is where our farm started. This was the original homestead here, so I will try and nail Dad down at some point, and I think that's what people are saying they'd like. And he'll be better probably at explaining all these old buildings and that than I will anyway. He'll have more knowledge on them. So yeah, I will try and nail him down, and we'll come out here and do that one day. I think that'll be pretty interesting. So that there is the paddock from the last episode that I was going to come out and spray top. I did manage to come out Sunday morning on the weekend, 250 acres done and dusted, sprayed him out. And that right there is another old house and another old lot of ruins. So I don't know if I said before, but we have a few old houses around the farm. They seem to be speckled here, there and everywhere, and they're all crumbling and falling down now. But yeah, I was just coming out here. Well, it's a farmer's rite of passage to check if there was much rain out here anyway, but I needed to clean up all the mess out here, all the drums and stuff, so thought I'd do that this morning. Alright, quick trip into the hardware store, and I've also got to fill up some jerry cans with unleaded because we are completely out, so can't run any small engines without unleaded. You had to get your ute out, or?
No. That loader up there too, so
To the new block?
Yeah.
Yep. That hopper had a bit of a bow on the back of it, and when we were putting the auger in, it kept falling off. So I just got the big sledgy out and tried to straighten it up a little bit. But I'm sure it won't be long before it bows out again, because they are just flimsy little things. Ow! So I got a couple of welding jobs that I need to do. I got a bin over the road that I need to clean out that needs a hopper repaired on it. And I got a couple of welding jobs to do on the 9770 here, which I don't really want to do, but there's no point in putting them off because you know what they say about jobs you don't want to do? They won't fix themselves. Keep it locked in here for more brilliant unheard quotes. So we'll try and run through this pretty quick. We've got our concaves here, 1, 2, 3. They hang down under here under the rotor, and that's where all your grain gets thrashed out. So you got this tube here, which is your adjusting tube for your concave depth. If you get the angle right here, you can see it's getting worn down just here. Now that there sits inside this bulkhead, and because we're getting a brand new bulkhead because this one's cracking out everywhere, I want to take that little bit of wear out of this tube and the one on the other side, because we're going to sit it in a brand new bulkhead. We've got a little bit of wear on here, and then the concaves just jiggle around. And you end up with this situation here where this here is starting to get very, very thin. You can see, I think it's just that little tiny bit of jiggle that you get in everything. And it just slowly but surely keeps wearing away at that bulkhead. So that's going to be brand new. We want to build this back up, and then we've got some new bushings. We'll just call them bushings. We're going to get new bushings to go in there, take a bit of slop out of there. We've got some new eye bolts and pins coming, so hopefully we'll take a fair bit of that slop out and tighten everything back up. But I was going to take this into the local engineering mob. The guy who does this sort of stuff is off for a few weeks, so he can't do it. So I'm just going to farm mechanic it up. We're just going to run a bead of weld over here and then just grind it back sort of flush. try and take a bit of that slop out of there. Because we all know that the tube for the adjusting side and the tube for the other side probably $1,000 each. So if we can save money, we will do it. Just try and make things last as long as they can. That's all you can do in agriculture. I pulled the ute up because there's a bit of breeze floating around here, and MIG welding and breeze doesn't really go together. That is just about spot on. Lovely. If anything, it's out by about 1/4 of a mil. Just there. That's pretty good. Not bad. That is not bad at all. That's almost perfect. I'm pretty happy with that. Might just nip a little bit off there. Beautiful. Well, Dad just came over to me while I was grinding back that tube, and he said, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but there's a big pile of oil under the sprayer. Anyway, we'll go have a look and see what we're dealing with. I mean, that hose there needs to be done, and I was thinking of doing that in the off season, but I never got time. But that is not at all where that leak's coming from, so we better hop up the top and have a look. It's got to be coming out of this hose here, I think. Look at that. Well, that's not the end of the world, I guess, but I think we better go put the boom down and cap this hose off. We'll get this hose off, cap it all off. It's just going to keep leaking oil over everything here, and oil on hoses, it just makes them go soft and mushy, and it's no good for anything. So we better get this sorted out straight away, I think. This is farming after all, and plans change. I've just been putting this sprayer under the tree here because we need to get into that shed and stop the birds nesting in there, because all they do is land all over the boom and they just crap all over it. They turn the boom completely white, and I cannot stand it. So while they're nesting at the moment, springtime, I've just left it out of the shed. I've just been leaving it under the trees here. It's not ideal, but I don't really know what else to do. Either they crap all over it and I gotta wash it every 5 days, or I just leave it out under a tree in the shade for now. Unfortunately, this machine takes priority. We cannot have this machine down at all, so I think it's best I get in here and get this done as soon as possible. Doesn't go down past the boom. I think first things first, we might cap this off and try and stop it from leaking, because it is making a right mess. 15, 16. Okay, I got this handy dandy O-ring face plug set. Stop us from losing all our hydraulic oil. Just trying to get a bit of this excess oil off of here. It's just no good for these hoses or anything to sit there with oil on them. So the more I look at this hose, the more I realise it's the exact same hose that blew on the other cylinder. So, bit of a weak spot maybe. Had the same problem on the other cylinder, that hose went. The exact same one coming down to here. while it was sitting in the shed one day, and this is the exact same story here. I was sitting there overnight, started leaking. I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again, these things break down while they're sitting in the shed. So I'm pretty sure that hose runs up over the top here through this loom all the way around to this valve block over here. So there's going to be a few zip ties here. Well, I got my safety glasses on. So that one there is our hose. That's good, we've identified it now. That's exactly why you need these caps, because otherwise this thing would just dump its guts all over the ground. Anyway, I might give this a bit of a clean out because I know good old Rico will appreciate it if I bring it in there nice and clean and not oily. So he can make me up a new one and we can throw it in. Alright, let's go get a hose made. Right, that should get us out of the trouble. Bloody farmers, slowing me down. Made another pit stop, got some spiral wrap to put around that hose, and a few bags of zip ties, because you know, might as well stock up while you're at it. But unfortunately guys, I think I'm gonna have to call this video here because Stacey's just rang me. She's been really under the weather for the last sort of week and a half. Starting to get pressure in her ears, she's feeling really bad, and she rang the doctors. Surgery, and they said they can get her in at 4:10. It's almost 4 o'clock now, so I'm gonna have to go look after the kids while she goes in and does that, and we'll have to kick this off on another day. So as always, thank you for watching the videos, we do really appreciate it. Have a good one guys, take care, and until next time, see ya. You know what happens to them? So what do you want to do now?
Play hide and seek.
You want to play hide and seek? Alright, I'm going to count to 10. You got to find a place to hide. You ready? 9, 10. You ready or not? Here I come. You just gave away your spot.